Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. With me, Syakir Nizam or DJ Syakir in the Thursday live show. So for today, we have the prominent guest from the youth advocate, right? Is it correct, my pronunciation?
Yes.
The youth advocate, Monster Among Us.
Hi everyone.
Okay, so basically, Monster Among Us, macam I bercakap dengan raksasa pula. Okay, so basically, the representative from Monster Among Us, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Firzana and I'm the founder and co-director for Monsters Among Us Youth Advocates. Tapi orang normally call us Mau lah, panjang sangat kan nama tu. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Suhaila. I'm the co-director of Mao alongside Fir. Hi.
So I need to call you Su.
Yep.
And you?
You can call me Fear.
Fair.
Yes.
Alright. So, who are you at Mau? Su.
Su. Tadi dah cakap lah, co-director.
Oh my god, I can kecam. Okay, who are you, director?
Okay, probably we can explain on what we do lah. As co-directors, we basically manage the organisation entirely lah. We think of the plans, what we can do, what we should do, people that we should approach to further develop Mau as a youth organisation. Right now, our main task is to basically legalize our organisation, meaning we are trying to register ourselves under the ROS.
Yep.
Yeah, that's our current to do as directors.
Okay. Why the name is Mau? So
Actually, this name started off with just being the name of a symposium. So Monsters Among Us Child Predator Symposium. But after, when we were thinking of the name, we wanted something that would catch the eye of people. We didn't want something very, what do you call it? Very normal. So orang akan macam biasa je. Tapi Monsters Among Us, they'll be like, oh, what's Monsters Among Us? Then from there on, they will start asking us about, what do we do? Why Monsters Among Us and all that. Then we start telling them about child sexual abuse.
Okay, there is one question play at the people's mind with that word monster. Who actually the monster here, Firzana?
Well, basically, I always tell this to my audience. When we were kids, we were told by our parents that, the bad people around us are strangers. The ones who lurk on dark streets, dark alleys, dorang yang, baju buruk and everything. But in reality, the monsters are actually people among us. So that's why we want to make our name as clear, as direct as possible. The monsters, the predators, all of these child abusers are actually people who the kids know. 70% of cases, that involving children, the predators know who the child is. The child know who the predator is. So we want to send out, a clear message to the public. Yeah.
So, how the public reach you guys?
Oh, the public can reach us through various ways. We are very active on our social media. We have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So if you guys just search us Monsters Among Us Youth Advocate, you'll find our pages. You can also reach us through email, and we are also very active physically. So macam we have a lot of events and booths open up at various carnivals. So if you guys just see us, you guys can talk to us. We are very open to talking about the issue or anything that you guys want to talk about when you meet us.
So, as a student, especially both of you, I were mentioned from the law school.
Yeah.
How you guys divided between the Mau matters and your study? It's a cliche question, but I think you guys have your own answer. Very first.
For me, time management is always an issue, but so long as you're committed, so long as you're passionate about a particular cause, especially for me, I've been doing this for the past a year or so, and I find it not hard to divide my time because I'm willing to spend time to do this. I think that's the major importance in being involved in a particular cause or a particular program or activity or some sort of commitment. You have to have the reason as to why you're doing it. Like for me, I go to classes, but at the same time, the free time that I have, that's where I, settle the things I have to do for mom and stuff like that. So it's a matter of knowing what you're passionate about, and you're willing to spend time. You're willing to stay up a little bit. You're willing to wake up a little bit earlier than others so that you can pre-plan your day and your week ahead. Yeah.
Oh yeah. For Sue itself, I was heard for Sue yourself. Yeah, I was mentioned that you also joining the debate team.
Oh yeah.
So how you manage to do this kind of thing?
Actually, since school, I've always been active in extracurricular activities to the point that I always prioritize extracurricular activities over my academics. But Alhamdulillah, when I masuk UIA, CFS and degree, I was able to properly divide my time. I actually find it difficult to not have anything. Meaning, if I just go to class, I find it very difficult. I find it very distracting. I'm always sleepy and I'm always not focusing in class. But when I have stuff to do, I know that my time is limited. So therefore, I would plan it strategically and efficiently, so I wouldn't waste my time just like lying in bed and not doing anything. I will always be doing something, and I feel macam very fulfilling in that matter. Yeah.
Okay, as a youth advocate or gerakan, we call it in Malay gerakan pemuda, gerakan belia.
Yeah, belia, yes.
Gitu.
So why you choose the child sexual cases instead of the other cases that are more relate with us as a youth, for example, pregnancy or abortion? Why you choose this child sexual abuse cases?
I think when it comes to child sexual abuse, we don't really see an entity that is led by the youth focusing on it. So I think that was the first reason why we took up the issue. Secondly, the golongan belia is the intermediary between the adults and the children. So we feel like we have a special position that we can use to our advantage, in the sense that we are able to reach the children better. We are able to communicate with them and also communicate with the adults who are the people on top and the people making policies and all that. So as an intermediary, we really see our role playing out there, because we are able to bring these two age groups together and communicate their Anything to add, Fir?
Fir?
Yeah, I agree, because I think being a youth, we have the time and we have the energy. We're not stuck to our offices. We're not stuck to our life commitments. So because of that, we have time to go to the kids and ask what their problems are. When we go to schools, takkan ada satu sekolah yang takkan cerita yang they actually have experience with child sexual abuse. So when we noticed that, when we went to events, we went to programs in school, they started opening up to us. So that means, when you show that you care about them, they start opening up. So there's no issue about kids don't tell kids don't tell what their problems are.
So usually after the kids tell you about the problem, what you guys, the next step that you guys taken?
Based on our standard of procedure, since we're not a legalized organization yet, we don't want to take the risk of handling the case individually. So what we do is, when a case comes up to us, we link them with more appropriate, more established organizations or NGOs to help to further the case. So if it's an urgent case and the child needs urgent help, what we do is we pass their case to PS, the children, atau Protect and Save the Children. So they're a more established organization that has case management. As for now, we're just focusing on prevention and advocacy. We haven't gone into the world of case management, because kita belum ada capacity to do so.
Yeah, and also we lack the professional capacity to do it. We don't have counselors with us and all that, but it definitely is in our goals in the next 5 years, hopefully, to be able to cater to this part of the issue.
So the future goals of MAU right now is to cater the problem first, or to enhance your organization so you can cater the CSA cases?
Yeah, I think when we are handling an issue, or as a youth organisation combating an issue, I think those two developments must be hand in hand. So of course we want to enhance our organisational standards and our what do you call it?
Our
knowledge. Role and those internal stuff, but we also want to help the issue. So I think it's a hand in hand development.
Okay, so we will be right back after this, and don't forget to tune to IIUM FM, your campus radio, waiting for call from Mahiz. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We back with Mau, the youth advocate. Here we have Fir. Hi.
Hi. Hi.
And we have Sue.
Hi everyone.
Okay, so move on to our second segment, which is we will discuss on child sexual abuse. As I mentioned that you guys are really in this field, which is you cater the child sexual abuse matter. And so the first question here, what is your opinion regarding the scenario case of child sexual abuse in Malaysia? Feel first.
To me, obviously, it's an issue that's very prevailing, and it's never been a new thing. It's always been around. But I think due to, a lot of social media, I mean, the platform of social media helps it, to spread like wildfire. Tapi it's been around for centuries. Dari zaman mak kita pun dah banyak dah case child sexual abuse. And to me, probably the saddest part of the whole thing is that we're taking so much time, so many years to improve gradually and slowly, in terms of the law development regarding laws on child sexual abuse, in terms of, dari segi victim support, even in police department, hospitals pun kita slowly ke arah berkembang. Tapi we're there lah. But to me, I think we're taking too much time lah.
So you think that the scenario cases of child sexual abuse is increased, but at the same time to cater the issue, the awareness to cater that issue also increase.
Yeah.
So how about you?
I think child sexual abuse is something yang I don't think everyone is aware of it. I think the end results of it, people are aware. Like child marriages, like prostitutes, rape. People know that these people have gone through something. But what have they gone through? I don't think people are aware of, and I don't think the public is actively taking steps to know about it. So that's why we are here to tell you guys more about it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, they were reported that 22,000 child sexual cases that have been not reported since 2010, which is very shock because during the 10 years back, which is we are in
2008.
2008.
Yeah.
So how old are you guys during that time?
2006.
Standard 6 or
Yes.
same goes with me lah.
Yes.
So it's a long time, which is 10 years back, which is we are in the secondary primary school, and
Yeah.
now we are in the university.
Yeah.
So the long time gap, these cases had not been reported in the media itself.
Yeah, true.
So do you think why this thing happened? So
I think this thing happened because of a few things. Firstly, I think the victims themselves don't have enough support from the people around them to report. I mean, imagine yourself in that position, having something that you don't know what it is. Like, for example, you've been sexually harassed and you don't know what it is, but you feel like it's wrong and you don't know what to do. And the people around you also are not aware of the subject. So you don't know who to ask. So I think that's the first thing. And secondly, in Malaysia, I think the subject itself was a taboo. For the past 10 years, I think no one wants to talk about sexual education, about being sexually harassed, the probability of it and all that. So I think that's also another factor. So with those two things, the victims feel like they can't do anything and like they should just keep quiet and pretend like it doesn't happen and it didn't happen and like move on with their lives. Yeah, what do you think, Fir?
what do you think?
Well, actually, the news which we heard about the 22,000 cases, those are actually reported cases to the police. However, it was not shared or spread to the public. So it was hidden from the public eyes to know. Now, that's a huge problem to me, to Mao, basically. That's our stand. We feel like, why are realities being hidden, being hide behind, the beautiful things we see in Malaysia? We have kids, we have children suffering
the
through their
future
years.
generation will
Exactly. They're suffering through the years and no one is acknowledging their problem. No one is addressing what they're feeling, how they're going through their daily lives. Disregarded because some party just feels that, hey, it's not an important thing to share about. That's a huge problem. We have to address what's in front of us. Kenapa kita nak pumpang tapi our children are actually suffering and kita buat bodoh je.
Yes. That's what she become the director of Mau.
Tertiba.
Okay, so as youth organisation, how do you see the awareness of public regarding this issue? So maybe.
Last year, before our symposium, 1 week before our symposium, we had this thing called Mau on the Streets. So Mau on the Streets had a few objectives. One of it was obviously to promote the symposium. But secondly, we had a bigger objective where we worked together with U-Report from UNICEF. And we collected data on very simple things. Those things were whether the public was aware on the Sexual Offences Against Children Act, and like what do they know about child sexual abuse. And I think the results were quite split. Like half of the public knew about the existence of this and half of the public didn't. So it was very shocking to us. Even though we've been at that point of time we've been advocating about the issue for 8 months, but people still did not know about it. And like there were like a lot of like at that point of time there was a fluctuation of reportings on child sexual abuse in the media. I mean, like the effects of it, like toughest schools, parents abusing their children sexually and all that. And still people did not know about it. Like what is grooming, what is child sexual abuse. So I think it takes us by surprise every time when we go out to the public every now and then, and we find out that there are still people living in KL, the hub of information, but still do not know about child sexual abuse.
Okay. So as Mau itself, okay, fair. What the CSA worst case that you handle and face it?
We do have many cases, and okay, probably the worst one was when we went to school. When we went to a school in the Klang Valley, and a child came up to us and she opened up that she has been sexually abused by her brother. And we decided to pass this on to our partner NGO. But then we heard that the school decided to not allow this NGO to come and help. And we realized that, even if a child is willing to seek for help, but if the people around the child isn't willing to help, isn't willing to
there were no support from...
There was no support from the school. They even, block the NGO from coming to help. So this is a problem. This is a disease in our community where we feel that CSA, sexual abuse, harassment is all about aib muka, aib sekolah, aib keluarga. Kita dah 2018 and we haven't moved on from that kind of connotation in our heads. We feel that if our daughters are sexually abused, marry her off to the predator. That has to be changed, and that's why we're here to fix that stigma.
Okay, so as some people might not know how to differentiate between the sexual touch and also the normal touch, like parent touch their son, their daughter. So what is the sign of that victim being abused by the predator? So
I think that's very subjective. The effects of it can be as minute as that victim feeling something within themselves that feels uncomfortable, or it can be as big as that victim as isolating themselves from society, running away, and all those social problems that we see nowadays. I think one way for us to tell whether the victim has been sexually abused is for the people around them to tell, because these people around them, meaning their friends or their family members or their teachers, see them every day, and they would know when there is a change in that person's daily interactions and all that. So I think more common ones are the child would isolate themselves from their friends. They wouldn't be as happy or as talkative if they are a talkative person. They would do new things yang orang macam, why are you doing that? Or like, for example, like if that person is always like with their friends and suddenly like they're not, and they're like masa waktu rehat pergi library and all that, you know.
Really?
If I may add lah, one of the huge misconceptions about CSA is they feel the only effect to CSA on a child or on a victim is that the victim or survivor will feel sad, will feel depressed, will feel like, I want to kill myself. But in most cases, that's not it. The only effect upon a child who has been sexually abused is that a child will always feel confused because budak ni tak tahu apa yang telah berlaku ke terhadap diri dia ni ialah salah. So dia confused. Pakcik I sentuh I dekat my buah dada. He's my uncle. I don't feel comfortable. Tapi dia pakcik I. So do I be mad or do I keep quiet? I tak nak malukan family I. So it's confusion in most cases, and confusion you can't see on their faces budak ni dia dah uncomfortable ke tak. So that's why
really
or people around us have to be equipped to detect all of this.
So this kind of topic is getting hot right now. Okay, so
Kita kena chill.
I will split the water to you guys.
Wow.
Okay, so as a youth advocate lah, you are being a part of we call that agent of socialization. Okay, if you guys didn't know the agent socialization, I give you the definition in the book. Okay, the agent of socialization is how we call that, this agent we can call as a parties lah. We have media, we have the NGO, the government, law itself. We call it agent, and the socialization is the process how we socialize the people.
Okay.
I think you guys know, right?
Oh, yes.
So how the agent of socialization, like the government, the legislation, can help to cater this issue? In your opinion lah, any of you?
To me, is to prioritize. Because for instance, if we focus on the government, they have a lot of concerns. They have economic issues, they have law issues, they have social issues. Prioritize. You can't do everything that you have. So especially the ministries directly related or directly linked, responsible for this kind of things. For instance, case child marriage. Up till today, yes, we hear some states, increasing the age to be legally married. What about others? There are really, we lack of proactive initiatives taken to spread awareness. Kita nak buat semua benda. Kita nak naikkan had untuk mengundi, kita nak end child marriage, semua benda nak buat. Tapi there's no priority. What do we want to achieve at the end of the day? Do we still want to have our kids being victims of child sexual abuse, or do we not want them to do this or that? Priority.
Okay.
But like, to add on to what Fir said, like the government having to prioritize, I think another thing that we need to realize is that it's not only the government's role, or it's not only the authorities' role. It's a collective initiative taken by everyone. It's the parents, it's the friends, it's the teachers, it's the police, it's the hospitals. Everyone must be involved in order to combat this thing, because if just one agent wants to combat it, and the rest, who are the people who are causing this abuse, or who are like not being able to prevent this abuse, are not doing anything, then it's a lost cause for just the government to just work on it.
Yeah,
that's true.
So I have read on one of Twitter posting by someone that he said that one of the factor why this kind of sexual assault among the children happen due to the too much exposure on in the social media. So as a youth advocate, do you agree with that statement? And is it the social media become one of the factor that contribute to the CSA?
Anything can be a tool to either make or break a person. So I don't think social media should be blamed for a child being sexually abused. Of course, because now memang kids are more exposed to stuff. They're easily accessed. There's no such thing as parental supervision now. But how do we control is by supervision lah. That's the only thing that we can do. Parents have to be more involved in the development of technology itself. They can't be outdated and they let their kids do whatever they want, and they don't even know what their kids are doing. And at the same time, it's also very important for us to equip our own children so that they know how to act responsibly on the internet. There's no point of doing prevention campaigns if the child themselves don't know how to, interact with each other on social media, because we can't deny that social media is part of our generation today. It's part of how we work as a community, as a society. So to blame social media and kata, oh, kita kena hentikan kanak-kanak tengok social media, that's impossible. Benda tu takkan terjadi punya. So how we cater this problem, kita kena ajarlah kanak-kanak kita, how do you talk to someone on social media, what are the do's, what are the don'ts. Kita tak boleh tutup jalan and expect the whole world to be in peace. No.
Yeah,
we have to address the problems.
Agree. Okay, so I have been interviewed one of the former. He was former public prosecutor, Mr. Ari. In my interview, he said that one of the factor that contribute to the CSA, the child sexual abuse cases, is due to because of the lack of awareness
To report.
To report these cases to the authority. Why do you think this kind of scenario happen in our country, especially as we know we are living in the peaceful, democratic? So why this kind of thing happen in our country?
I think I mentioned it briefly just now when I was explaining like why victims, like the process itself is very taxing on victims. Like Fir said also, these victims are also very confused. They don't know if this thing is child sexual abuse or not. And only ever since, I guess, last year or the year before, only this thing started being a hot topic. So I think that's why your statistics of 22,000 of non-reported cases for the past 10 years, that's why they're not reported, because like, you know, they don't know that it's child sexual abuse. But moving on, let's say they do know that it's child sexual abuse. Still, the environment and Malaysia's environment of reporting and all that is very taxing on the victims, in the sense that you go to the police and you report, right? You have to tell them like your explicit details and everything, and remembering all that again is very traumatizing on the child. And this is a child that we're talking about. We're not talking about an adult who has been raped. So imagine like a child that has been sexually abused, right? So after they go to the police, then they have to go to the hospital. And you know Malaysians, right, suka jaga tepi kain orang. So they, like, everyone will be asking the person at the counter, the doctor, the nurse, they will be asking like, oh, why? And
why
then
you jaga?
Yeah.
Why this kind of thing
why this thing happened to you? What were you wearing? And they ask very irrelevant questions like, what you wearing? What time was it? Who were you with? Why did you go out alone? And these are questions that the child rasa, and at the end of the day, the child akan rasa macam, oh, it's my fault. And then mungkin like they'll stop their reporting if they orang rasa macam, oh, these people are doubting me, I shouldn't go through with this, nanti I just susahkan my mother and my father and all that, you know. So yeah.
Okay, so as part we concern, like how the children, the victim that you met or you have been interact with them before, how they feel when they being abused?
It's senang nak cerita, when we see them pun kita rasa sedih. Because I was interning at PDRM for the past 3 months, and I was given the chance to handle CSA cases directly. And these kids, they're like any other kids. They wanna have fun. They wanna enjoy their childhood, but sadly they can't, because they've been scarred, you know, due to the abuse, due to the harassment that they've received back at home, in school and everything. Yeah.
Okay. So we will be right back after this with more sensational that we will discuss on the child sexual abuse. And to all the Instagram followers who have been passed the question to me just now, they will answer it for you after this. And don't forget to tune with us, IIUM.fm. I have a piece of Sabar by Ismail Izani. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We will be back again with the last segment in the cemetery, which is Ask Mau. Okay, so basically I already provide the section for the listener to ask you guys in my Instagram account. Nampak tak? Angkat bakul.
Nice.
Kau function Syakir. Kau tak ada
alright.
A+.
So, I have the first question from the Instagram username is Muhammad Faris. What's your opinion on the closing of Tafiz?
Sorry, on the closing?
Of the closing of Tafiz.
You know the recently there
the
were
case. Okay,
sexual assault in the Tafiz Center.
To me, to close Tafiz punya system as a whole is ridiculous lah. Because we have to respect that, you know, some people... No, we have to understand that Tafiz original initial intention of the school institution pun is really beautiful. You know, they want to produce Hafiz and Hafizas. But then again, it's enforcement and regulation to regulate the system as a whole, because Tafiz schools are regulated under state government, and these state governments have to take the initiative to regulate their schools better, to regulate, you know, their Tafiz on who the teachers are, how do they even handle if a case were to happen. Because even in normal schools, Syakir, and our schools have been around since zaman penjajahan British, up till today we still don't have a clear standard of procedure in schools to handle child sexual abuse cases. So of course lah, Tafiz schools yang baru dibangunkan ni pun lagi-lagi lah tak regulated. So ini bukan masalah sekolah itu, ini masalah regulation, enforcement,
agree.
untuk, you know, protect our kids through schools.
So, there is a second question from the Instagram username Chikin.
Hi Chikin.
In your opinion, what is the best punishment to give to the abuser?
Bunuh je. Joking. Astagfirullah, joking.
The best punishment. I think our laws are very... our laws are very clear, and I think dah cukup lah punishment kat dalam law tu. It's quite heavy. What are the punishments? I rasa imprisonment and fines, right?
Because it's a criminal case, it's there will be whipping. There will, it depends on the offence. If it's rape, there's whipping, there's imprisonment, there's also fine. If it's, you know, minor things like molestation, you know, you could probably get 2 to 5 years in imprisonment. But we have to understand the legal process in Malaysia. It goes through a lot of levels. It's not just, okay, dia ni rape, dia patut disebat 100 kali. You know, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. In terms of, you know, prosecuting a case, it's already a burden itself. Kita kena prove whether betul tidak diorang ni ada penetration of the penis into the vagina or not. In terms of molestation, sentuhan, macam mana nak buktikan? So memang bila kita dengar case, perogol dilepaskan, you know, daripada penjara, tak disabit kesalahan pun, itu bukan sebab kita tak nak jatuhkan hukuman kat dia, bukan. It's because of the law.
Tapi lah, just to add, I think what Malaysia can do better is think of the rehabilitation of these people, especially when it's sexual crimes. Diorang ni mungkin ada niat jahat, but mungkin also there is a possibility of these people being mentally sick in the head. So the law also has to cater to this part of the whole of the four justice process. They have to cater to the rehabilitation of these people, and how bila diorang dah serve that 5 years in prison, when they go out again, are they going to do it again, or are they not? Like, we want them to not do it again, and I don't think prison is sufficient to cater to that.
Yeah,
that's true.
Okay. So the third question, okay, I received a lot of questions, so maybe I can answer like there are four questions from one person, so
wow.
I pick one.
Oh, thank you.
And
Thank you.
Also 6 questions from one person. I will pick one also.
Is this your friend?
Jangan kata guys. Okay, I'm just kidding.
Everyone is our friend.
From the Shaira.
Hi Syakira.
She asks, is mental torture to kids is considered as abuse?
That's a tricky question, because like I think child sexual abuse, the type of torture that happens, maybe it actually happens physically, tapi like the effect of it could be mentally torturing also, like in the sense you are scarred and you're traumatized by the whole thing, and it affects you mentally where you keep thinking about it. So the abuse happens once maybe, or like minimum once, but the effect of that abuse like continues in your head for some people even up to 10-20 years until they're adult.
But to answer your question, it says, does mental torture amount to abuse?
Yeah.
Right? That's the question. Obviously, it does. But when you mentally torture a person, it's definitely abuse. This person, mental abuse is one of the means to sexually abuse a child too. When you share with them pornography, those things will get into the head of a child, and we can't dismiss the fact that this child will be scarred because of that one particular event, and it will go on, and things like depression, anxiety, those are the products of a child being sexually abused.
Okay, agree. So the next question from Ucup Amran.
Ucup. Hi Ucup.
What's up, Ucup?
Okay, he give us the many questions, but I just pick one.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, how does one, a person can necessarily think to abuse child? Because as you know, child is an innocent figure.
Yeah.
They can't do anything. They can't burst out anything. So, in your opinion,
I think this could like first start off with like this sickness already exists, and it's pedophilia, where you are sexually attracted to a child, and it has been proven scientifically that this thing exists. So I think that is like the start of it. But I think things that also add to the problem are things like child pornography being on the web, and how it's actually very much prevalent, especially in Tumblr. If you like, that's like where people go, and like Telegram, I heard like there's a group that spreads child pornography and all that. So I think these things also add to the problem of people being attracted sexually to children.
Yeah, one of the biggest factors to producing a predator as well. We have to we shouldn't disregard the fact that some predators were also victims of sexual abuse when they were younger. Anytime in their life they were abused by another person. That was their first exposure to the sexual experience, and then that might lead them to being sexually attracted to children as well. Yeah.
Okay, agree. Okay, so the next question, I still a lot, right? From Zaro Azrai.
Hi Zaro.
Who has the
Azrai, I know you.
You know him, right? Who has the highest probability to become the child abuser among the children?
Child abuser among the children. People who are closest to a child.
Yeah.
Not strangers, not penagih dadah, bukan hobo kat rumah, kat luar. The people who are closest to a child are the easiest people to get to a child. We're talking about uncles, we're talking about brothers, we're talking about bus drivers, we're talking about teachers. Teachers especially in boarding school. You have your special time with your with your children, and then if you're sick, you take advantage of the access that you have.
Yes. Okay, so this is two questions from the same question, but from different person. From Najmi Shahiran and
Hey Najmi. Hi
Okay,
Kira.
should I ask you guys, who is considered as a child? Minimum age?
So Section 2 of the Child Act states that a child is anyone below the age of 18. So legally speaking, that is the age of the child lah. Who is a child? Yeah.
Okay. So legal already defined who is the child.
Yes.
In our Child
I read
Act
the Child
2001.
Sexual Act 2017. They said that below 15, the child. Below 18,
Okay, there's a lot of layers to understanding the age of a child. Generally, those who are considered as minors or children are those below 18. But then we have like sections to say, okay, below 16, female children are allowed to get married. Below the age of 18, boys can get married. But so we also have the age, contohnya 13, where boys below the age of 13 cannot digest or comprehend the act of sexual intercourse, therefore they cannot have sexual intercourse. So we have a lot of sections, laws relating to an age, to the concern of age. So kita kena tengok apa yang kita nak sebenarnya.
Okay, I agree. So this is from Amira Saudi and Usama Hishamuddin.
Hi.
They give us the same question actually. How can we prevent and from this bad thing happen? And what is the best solution to protect our children from this kind of predator?
Yeah, dua-dua sama.
Sama-sama.
Dua-dua
Betul. A+.
To me, I would always prefer equipping our children, because how much prevention we do, if the child sendiri tak boleh protect, tak boleh prevent harm from coming to him or her, benda tak boleh jalan. So that's why when we go to schools, it's very important for us to empower the children to say, hey, if you are uncomfortable, you feel scared, you have to know that you can say no. You can say yes, you can say no. You know that if something were to happen to you, you should know that you have the option of seeking for help. And the teachers are there to help you. You have to know that people are there around you to help you. So you ada hak untuk meminta pertolongan, untuk reach out to people. Sekarang ni kids don't know that they can get help in school. Kids don't know that they can get help from people around them. Itu yang sedih. Because they think that they are handling this individually. Tak ada orang nak tolong diorang. Family tak support. Keluarga tak support. Cikgu-cikgu tak support. So, equipping the child.
Okay, so this is we close the question session. We move to the Mau part itself. Okay, the monster Mau.
Okay.
Since there are one of my followers said that, how long have you guys involved in advocate and raising the awareness? Just a short answer.
Okay, so so we've been around since February 2017, and so 1 year plus.
1 year plus. Okay,
1 year,
so you
8
get a
months.
lot of. You already involved in a lot of experience and programs, right?
Alhamdulillah, we've
Yes,
given
but it's a learning process.
So what is the next for Mau?
Okay, so on the 13th of
13 of
On the 13th of October. Oh no. Why are you laughing?
Okay, so on the 13th of October, we'll be having this session called Sessions with Mau. So, you know, people say, jom kita have a lepak sesh, mamak sesh. So, we want to have that same environment, but the subject of discussion would be child sexual abuse. We're going to have it on the 13th of October. It's a Saturday. We're going to start at 4:30 p.m. till 6, and it will be at local cafe in KL. Yeah, so it's up to 30 packs only. You can register now. Just follow us on Instagram, and we'll have a laid-back, chill discussion on CSA. So we're trying to create a platform for normal people who have never been involved in child advocacy to be part of us, so that kita boleh cerita benda ni, like how we can cerita pasal feminism, politics, seperti itu.
Yeah. So how do you expect from the sachet program? Why are you laughing?
What do we expect from it? I think generally this kind of program caters to people yang, like Fir said lah, have like no experience about child sexual abuse, have no knowledge about child sexual abuse. So obviously, at the very least, we want them to go back and make a difference in their community, in their society. Like, and this can be like as small as their circle of parents, friends, and their siblings. But obviously, we want more people to be like us and be advocates, right? So, like, talk. Like, if these people are part of universities and all that, like students, like start this movement in their universities and their societies.
Yeah.
Okay, so how the people or the civilian nak macam terteru pula kan? How the public want to join you guys as an advocate?
Okay, so Monsters Among Us, we do have volunteers, so we recruit volunteers through our Google form. For right now, we already have a pool of 50 volunteers plus. So you can always follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter to get to our Google form.
Yeah.
If not volunteer, and if you just want us to collaborate with you, you want us to come to your universities or school, just contact us through our Instagram account.
Yep.
Yeah, we're very open to anything, literally.
Okay, so what is your hope as an advocate? As a youth advocate?
Our hope as an advocate is obviously to have a society idealistically that is supportive first. Supportive of this whole issue in the sense that they're open to talk about it, they're open to help victims, and they're very vigilant in identifying the abuse when it happens. And I think this is the same for all issues when we're talking about child marriages, when we're talking about child sexual abuse, when we're talking about harassment, also for adults. I think this is what my personal hope is. Fir, do you have a hope?
My hope for Mao is that we can continue being a reliance in the community for our children to go to, so that they know that, hey, ada akak dengan abang yang datang sekolah hari tu. Oh, kalau apa-apa, I boleh pergi ada orang because they can help. So we do have huge goals, but that will be our probably that's the nearest and most important lah, to know that to let the children know that we're here to help. Yes.
Okay. So, any future plan from Mao?
Okay, so Sessions was 13th of October. On the 10th of November, we're planning to have this thing called Tales of the Untold. We had 2 series of it last year and it was really, really successful. For those who don't know, Tales of the Untold is an art appreciation night, which is held as a tribute to child sexual abuse. So we think that art is able to express things that the words can't. So we think that's why we have this program, Tales of the Untold. So this time around, we're looking for performers actually to come perform. So if you think that you want a platform to perform and it's totally free, come approach us on our Instagram. And promotion material will be out soon.
Okay. So, thank you for Fir and Sue for joining us, the Thursday Live Show.
Thank you,
Thank you, Syakir.
Shakir.
You've been great.
I really hope that you guys can continue in supporting and helping the survivor, you know,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
There's a lot of survivor out there that need, especially the youth, to
Yeah.
cater for them.
Yeah.
Okay, and I wish you guys, I wish both of you luck. Astaghfirullahaladzim. Okay, I wish you guys good luck.
Thank you, Syakir.
Thank you,
in
Syakir.
combating this kind of
See you in
issue.
marketing.
So to all the listeners, don't forget to tune to IIUM.FM every Thursday 6 to 7 p.m. The Thursday live show will bring you the many more topics come out, and the next week will be have a big figure in the industry, and tune to us, and don't forget to tune to IIUM.FM, your campus radio. So we leave you guys with the Arjuna Beta from
Firzana.
Firzana.